This is a short video on how to use the STORI method, which is the University Design Institute's storytelling method for inspiring and influencing others. So here's the framework. It's easy to follow, and it helps you tell your story succinctly and persuasively so that you can inspire or influence decision makers to take action. So as you can see here, S stands for scene, T is for task or trouble, O is for overcoming obstacle, R is for results, and I is for insight. So let's look at each of these components. The first is setting the scene. So when you start telling your story, quickly transport your audience into your world by being specific about when and where exactly were you. This allows your audience to picture the scene and what the situation was. Next is task or trouble, which stands for the goal or the challenge. So what was the goal that you wanted to accomplish in this particular story? Or what was the challenge that you needed to address? Or there may be several challenges. Next, to overcome your obstacles or your barriers to your goal, what specific steps did you choose to take? And this could be one or more steps depending on your situation. Results is about what happened at the end of your story. What were the results of the actions that you took? And remember that it's valuable to share stories of both successes and failures, because failures are really necessary in the journey to success. And you may learn valuable insights from stories of failure as well. And finally, insight is about sharing your wisdom. So whether they were stories of success or failure stories, what lessons and insights did you learn that you can share with others? And there may be several insights, several lessons, but pick the ones that are most relevant to your audience. And the goal is to influence your audience to feel, believe, or act a certain way. So let's look at an example of an e-learning community member that was able to use this STORI method in influencing or inspiring his fellow e-learning leaders at different universities. This is a story by Rami Farhan, Director of Academic Services at the American University Beirut Office of Innovation and Transformation. And he starts by telling us that in 2019, the American University Beirut decided to go fully online with their MBA program. It was a decision that was driven by student demand. The task was to launch the new online MBA program by September 2020. And in October 2019, their team attended a week-long workshop at the Arizona State University, ASU, on scaling up digital learning, which included systems, processes, content development, and human resources. After the workshop, they were ready and energized to design and scale their own digital learning. However, on the very same day that their team returned to Beirut, street uprisings erupted as part of a revolution against the corruption of their government. All roads were blocked. Students and faculty couldn't get to campus. And 5 months later came the pandemic, which came with a huge currency devaluation. They could no longer afford the company that ran their online platforms. They had to pay 15 times more than the original cost. So with the insights that they gained from their ASU workshop, they built very quickly their internal capacity to develop all 36 MBA online courses. And by 2022, they have successfully onboarded and trained more than 500 faculty members, building their capacity. They have over 350 courses that they've redesigned, both blended and online programs. And they've also switched their instructional designers from a waterfall method to a more agile one. In the past, their instructional designers were designing an average of 9 courses. Now they're designing an average of 20. And finally, they were able to develop and implement e-learning policies. What they learned is how important it is to build their capabilities and capacity in people, processes, and technologies. A robust faculty development program for online education is especially vital. And once you establish a trust relationship with faculty and the expectations about processes and technology use are clear, that's really when the magic happens. And finally, it's important to establish policies for student identity verification, course content ownership, quality assurance, and accessibility. So by telling this story to his fellow e-learning community, he was able to inspire them to take action on scaling up their own digital learning at their respective universities. So here, it's a great example of how the story framework can be used. So there you have it. This is the STORI method, UDI storytelling method for inspiring and influencing others.